Hi guys, back with a new video. This will be about Garnet from Final Fantasy IX, one of the most popular Final Fantasies, and let's just jump into it. By the way, these files are made by Num Num Figures, and you can find them on Patreon on any of the official markets selling STL files. Now, to start up the base, I just use some basic gray. And now I'm gonna do some highlights on the gray just to make the rocks a little bit more pop. I'm gonna try to do something here. This was something that I used to do in my miniature days. So I do the highlights and then I'm gonna use a couple of different type of washes on it to make the stone look a little bit more alive, let's say. It's not just a boring concrete as usual. Now here I'm gonna use the yellow wash and just spray it here and there just a little bit. And now I will go over with this one with the purple wash, and I'm gonna go a little bit heavy-handed with this one, so not as light as the yellow one. We want it to pop out a little bit more. You can try to use other wash as well if you want, just this is what I like usually. It makes it look more like a stony one. Now in the background you can see Vivi's base as well. He's gonna be next as well. I kind of painted the bases at the same time, but they're a little bit different at the same time as well. And now with this really light gray, I'm gonna do some highlights back on. Not as heavy as before, but just a little bit, just to give that edge highlights on the rocks. And now Princess Garnet doesn't have too much skin, it's just her face and part of her chest. So here I'm gonna do the skin tones that usually I like to do. Her will be a little bit lighter. Now again, skin tone, you do it as you like it. This is my way to do it. I used to do this a long time ago. Then I changed it and then I went back to this one. I think this is the one that works out for me. I don't use washes on it, anything like that. I know lots of people do. I just do it differently. Here I have a piece of hair on her, so I removed that. So just make sure that the base color covers really good. I usually paint over black and I don't do zenithal highlights. This is just works out better for me. I do my highlights and my shadows with the airbrush. I find it sometimes that zenithal highlights, they're not that good for my style of painting. Depends how much paint you put on. Sometimes the zenithal highlights will all be covered up anyway. I think zenithal highlights work more for miniatures better than for statues. Now here I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna do the deepest parts of his skin. Just give it a little bit of a dark shadowing with this nice rose skin color. And now here with this skin color, I'm gonna do all the highlights. If you go a little bit excess or it's overspraying, just swipe it up as soon as you can. And you can see over here, it's just doing where your skin will be more light. Now, it's not gonna stay like this. We're gonna have a third color that goes down. I'm gonna do the same thing on her face as well. And now here this process, I'm gonna mix around 60% water, 40% paint, and you can do even more if you want, but this will be a gentle passive glaze just to bring everything together. Try not to go too heavy-handed, and again, the water can be 70% and 30% of paint, but just don't go too heavy. Just want slightly to bring all the highlights and shadows together. And now here I'm just gonna put down some varnish because I have to tape up, or I'm gonna use putty probably this part so I don't lose any of my progress on the skin. So Nom Nom Figures made 5 of the Final Fantasy IX, and of course the belt on her leg, and Vivian and General Beatrix. And I'm gonna see how this video does, and maybe I'm gonna make all 5 of them, we will see. Now with this orange over here, I had some issues. I really like this color, but I run out of the actual paint. I didn't have any more left. This is a little bit lighter orange, but again, I didn't have where to pick it up when I was painting it up, so I decided to go just a little bit slightly darker orange. Now you're gonna see in the video when I do the color change, I just wanted to let you guys know, because I did use this lighter orange, when I pass the slightly darker orange it will be a different color than if you just pass this one. Now, as I mentioned it, here is the slightly darker orange that I'm gonna use on her. So this will be the final base color. And now here I'm going to use Dactan to do all the white parts. She doesn't have too much, just the sleeves and the chest part. And now this will be the red that I'm using on most of on her gloves, shoes, and every accessory. And now with this lighter red, I'm just doing some a little bit of the highlights. And with the black wash, I'm gonna do all the deepest parts of the shoes. So all the shadows, they will pop out a little bit more, and even the lighter red will make it pop. And some black now for the bottom part of her shoes. I'm gonna do all the belt buckles with the silver. This is just the metal parts. And now with this ink, I'm gonna do some shadows. And was the one I used on all her body, the orange parts, to do the shadows. And we are back to deck 10, and we're gonna do the sleeves as well. And these ones I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. I'm just gonna pass some dry brush after with some white, and basically that's it with the white, not too much about it. I'm gonna use my favorite blue ink. This is basically translucent resin. Unfortunately, I went a little bit too heavy-handed with the blue, so you don't notice it too much. I don't mind it as much, but... And here I'm gonna use the silver to do the rest of the necklace, the chain and the metal part. And now everybody's favorite gnome oil. Go over the chain just to give it a little bit of depth. Now here with the white ink, I'm gonna try to do a little bit of a depth in this crystal, because with the blue it's just covered a little bit too much. Again, I went a little bit heavy-handed. I could clean it up, but I didn't think at the time. So now I'm just gonna try to do a little bit of a textures on it to make it a little bit more obvious that it's just a blank. And here now I'm gonna pass over a little bit of a blue ink over the white ink so it blends in everything, so it's not that obvious. And here I'm gonna paint up with black Garnet's hair. I want it to be almost like highlights, so I'm gonna go deep black on all of it, and I'm just gonna do some brown highlights on it. And now here, I will not call this dry brushing, but imagine something similar. But I'm gonna leave the paint on the brush a little bit more. So I can do this like, again, almost like highlight style. So you can still see the black and the brown as well, in a way. Now with this lighter brown, I'm gonna make some highlights in her hair. I'm not overdoing this, it's just 2 parts on the top of her hair and a little bit on the bottom where it's more heavier. And you may notice I put some foil on her face so the paint doesn't go on it. And now here I'm gonna use this metallic for hair bobbin. I really like this color. and this is the closest that I noticed in the picture and in the game as well to have. Now with this black, we're gonna do her necklace, neck piece, whatever it wants to be, and then basically the main carrot is done. I'm gonna use this brown for eyes. I'm gonna finish it up, paint it all up, and you will notice in the video that I'm gonna do a repaint of her eyes because they're too small. So after I repaint, they will be a little bit bigger, so it will look better. Now here just simple white dry brushing on the Dagtan, just to make the details in her clothes pop out a little bit. Now what I noticed here with the base putting Garnet on it, it wasn't too stable, so I decided to drill 2 holes in her shoes. Now her shoes are not emptied out, so they are full. What you have to do over here is you have to use different drill bits to drill it in. Don't go with the big drill straight out because then you're gonna break the whole thing. So I'm gonna go 3 sizes of drill bits and go bigger and bigger every time, and you have to go really slow as well. Sometimes it's better to do it by hand, to be honest. I'm using ABS resin, so the drill actually doesn't break it, but any other resin, the drill will break it straight up. And I'm gonna drill the holes in here. I'm gonna cut up a couple of metal rods that I'm gonna glue it in, so when I put it on the base, it's gonna be more stable. Now when you see it here, I'm gonna measure the metal rod to the base because I don't want it to come out on the other side, so I'm gonna cut it a little bit shorter than it needs to be. And now here I'm gonna mix up some 2-part epoxy, and I'm gonna make sure that the epoxy glue goes inside as well, and put some on the metal rod as well. Now here we start working on the staff, and I'm just gonna paint up everything pink. This is the color of the staff in the game and on the reference images as well. Now this red, it's a really nice red color, but unfortunately it doesn't cover as good. So everything that I painted here red, I had to go back and give at least 4 coats almost. Now I'm doing it with the paintbrush as well, so if could do it with airbrush will be a little bit faster and will cover way better. So I think with the airbrush maybe just 2 coats, but here with this I had to give like 4 And again, I didn't want to tape up the whole thing, it would just take a lot of time. Maybe it would be better if I done before the red. Actually, the red on the gold, it's covered way better than I was expecting. So this was way faster. Now, thanks for watching the videos, guys, and if you like it or you learned something, give it a subscribe, give it a like. If you have any questions, just put it down in the comments down below. I'm gonna try to answer them as soon as possible. The next one I think will be Viv from Final Fantasy IX, and then will be somebody else, we will see. See you on the next one, and thanks for watching.